Hi, John here again, and we're in Bruree in South Limerick, and this is Ballyhoura townland, and it's called Ballyhoura Graveyard, and it's a great place. It has Church of Ireland here, first fruits around 1810, 1812, and it looks to me like it's in great condition. A small batter on the wall there, and then around this side, then it's a 4 or 5 story tower house. Which is wrapped in ivy, and it's all fenced off, so we can't get into this whole graveyard. But as far as I know, there's going to be conservation works done here this summer under the Community Monument Fund through Limerick County Council and Sarah McCutcheon. So what looks fairly challenged, and with some recent collapse, the works on that is going to start this year. So it's a fabulous and it's so unusual. Like, I don't usually see tower houses in the graveyard, so this is unusual for a few reasons. What we've done this morning with the team from Ballyhoura and some local volunteers, we've numbered everything and we photographed everything, and we have enough names and dates now. The way that the graveyard is roughly organised is this bottom section down here is Church of Ireland. That's a Featherstone tomb down there. Can you see that heap of bushes and stones? That's actually a tomb, and we'll see more just like it over yonder. And then the graves down there beyond the van, they're some Church of Ireland families as well. And what we have here, if you follow up, what we have is a whole series of headstones relating to the Bolster stone carver that I was talking about last week. And we have a bit of a discovery in the sense that we also have the paterfamilias. We have the original Bolster, William Bolster, and we look at his headstone over yonder. So it's your conventional layout in a sense, that the headstones are very much in rows, and there's some really nice rows, and they're all about a 6-foot spacing. So if you look at this stone here, if I come forward 2 steps, then so there's a full, that's a burial row between that stone and that stone, and that one there and there. So that's how the graveyards are organised. They're buried in, we bury our people in tidy rows, and in this case, there was a ruined medieval church here called a medieval church called St. Munchin's. The foundations of that, maybe they're under the First Fruits Church, but I'm not sure. If they are, then why are all the old headstones out here? When you look at the map, and I'll insert the map at some other date. In fact, I'll try and do it now. What do? I swing across here, I go to media, I add a video. I did a screen capture of this earlier, so which one is it? This one? And I add that. How do I add it? And click on add. Okay, so now if I zoom in on that, if I bring him in the middle and zoom in. So when I was looking at this just a minute ago in the van, I went into archaeology.ie, and this is what archaeology.ie looks like on a screen. And you zoom in on the map, and those little red pins are what the archaeology looks like. And when you click, sorry for the clicking now, I'm using different technology, and when you click on the red dots, it gives you information on them. So go to archaeology.ie and then zoom in on the site. There it is on the map. Clicking on the graveyard. Clicking on the map showing where the different elements of the site are. So if the tower house is here in the middle, and if the Church of Ireland 1812 is down there, could the medieval church be down there, or is it more likely to be over that direction? This is one of those rare sites where you can't actually say that the Church of Ireland, that the medieval church would have occupied the centre of the site, and the burials would be south of that, and so on. So it's an unusual one. I think somebody mentioned earlier that it was a De Lacy tower house, And if you remember back to Atlaka last week, we had a 1623 headstone for John and Thomas and somebody else, Lacey. So that was the tail end of that. So this was them in their prime. And then we get them at the tail end in those 1600s when the political landscape in Ireland changed hugely. So that's that there. So I just want to have a look at this fella. He's very tall. If you come in here, Jules, and have a look, there's actually this is an Arma Christi in that it's a crucified Christ on a cross in outline, and it's all carved in this relief or almost false relief. He carves the space out around the letters, erected by, and the lettering is all in false relief as well. And Requies Canton Pace Amen, making this a very Catholic headstone. Right now the burials are segregated here, but that is not to say that they would have been segregated in medieval times, or sorry, in later medieval times or early modern times. These flat-topped headstones, they're of a type, and I think they're all Bolster headstones, and that's what I wanted to look at now. This is very much a Bolster headstone here. If you stand here, Julie, you can see it from this side, from where I'm standing. So that particular shape of the shoulders and the nice round top, and it's quite, he's not using massive slabs. The decoration is carved in relief or false relief, and then in this case he's inscribing the letters. And what we have here, I'd say we have up to 25 Bolster headstones, mostly done by Joseph Bolster from about 1620 onwards, probably until the 1820 onwards until about the 1850s, and they're all of that type. Okay, we'll go around this way because there's a chap over there. A lot of the graveyards that you can see here in this modern section, they're still in use, very much in use. The wall there has been fixed in recent times. So you can see the graveyard need a lot of care. Conservation. Down here is more modern. So the historic graveyard is all up here. This one here, this would be very much of a Bolster type. I know now she's in shadow because the sun is behind her, but there's the carving in relief. There's the crucified Christ. You can see his chest, the rib cage. There's a sun figure then, and then usually he has the two archangels on either side, and then various different types of carving down in here. So in this case you can see it's a bigger piece than what we were just looking at, and big rounded head, and that's your Joseph Bolster. And we'll go over here now. This is a burial tomb here. It's a ground vault, so the entrance is there, and there's another one around the corner. And of these 2, 4, 6, 8, let's say there's 20 there, at least I'd say 8 of them are all Joseph Bolsters. But this is the unusual one here. This is by his father. Now it had been broken, so it's been repaired. But this is early 20th century. It's got this scrolling foliage here, ferns almost. Just the IHS here on top. But then as we come down into it, here lieth the body of John Lyons, who departed this life June 20th, 1803, age 73. May he rest in peace, amen. Erected by his son John. But then at the bottom it's signed William Bolster, or WM, and we can see it quite clearly. It's not great now, but Bolster, and then F for Fetch It. So William Bolster made this. So if that's 1803, if the other ones are 1820s and thereabouts, made by Joseph, then we think this is the granddad, William Bolster. Evelyn O'Keeffe called in earlier and she went through the family tree with us for the Bolsters. So we do think this is the early, these are the early Bolster headsons. And a lot of what Joseph did then is based on this design. These particular shapes, the flat tops, but also with the curving sides. And also he doesn't need the perfect piece of stone. Okay, so if we come over here, just I'll wrap up now. We still have a bit of reading to do. We just wanted to get this video. So will you show these ones here, Jules? So that's an Ellen Carroll. The second one is an Owen Carty. This is an Owen McCarthy. This is a Coomey, C-O-O-M-E-Y, but his wife was a Margaret McCarthy, and this is an Owen McCarthy. So we think 1, 2, 3, 4 of these round-headed headstones all relate to the one Owen McCarthy, who might well have erected these for everybody. This particular character died at the age of 94. Here lieth the body of Owen McCarthy, who departed this life November 10, 1834, aged 94 years. So it's unusual. Very often they'll put up one stone and that'll serve for the posterity of all the different ranks of their family. But here the Cartleys took over this whole section here, and they have different headstones for different individuals. That's not at all the norm that we would see. Okay, so look, if you have that behind me then, please. So Bruree Graveyard, Ballyhoura. Sorbet here with the group. We'll be back in a couple of weeks recording some stories with them as well. There's some fascinating local stories, but then also for a broader history. So we leave you with this. We leave you there for now. Okay, ta-ra.